Hey, how's it going, brothers and sisters? And this is a quick message, quick training for the prophetic messages from the Lord, and how you can use the most cost-efficient means to take the transcripts and create a video and share it on your own personal YouTube channel. As I mentioned before, by February timeframe, I would be extremely limited on my ability to share it in the online fashion that you have seen. So this is why I'm asking help to you all in the body of Christ that want to participate to keep these messages moving in your own personal forums. So I can still do the transcripts because I will have at least that capability to be able to do a Word document and then send it out to the blog post. And then afterwards, I'm really depending on you all to be able to take those messages and share it to wherever you can, wherever you may be across the world. And so right now I'm using a program called Screen-O-Matic. It's free and it gives you 15 max minutes of free time to do an interactive recording of whatever you want. And so today is going to be this quick training. All right, and so this here is the step-by-step process we're going to do. I'm going to take this documentation, upload it to Google Drive, and then share it in the description box that will be located just below this video when it's on YouTube. All right, so the first step is to verify a microphone setup. Now, what type of microphone you want to use depends on your preference and comfort. Me, I like to use the Yeti, but it costs a little more, but I like the quality of recording that I get with it. And so it all depends on you and what you desire to use. And so the first thing you want to do is go to the search box, which is in a start menu below, and then you want to type manage audio. So here's my search box and I type in manage audio. All right, here you go, manage audio devices. It comes up and I'll leave it right here. All right, and then, well, I'll just move it over. Right over here. The next step says in the sound window, which is what this is, go to the recording tab, highlight the cursor on the microphone. There's going to be some typos here. I'll let you know that already. Highlight the cursor on the desired microphone you want. You want to right click on it and then select that as the set as default device. And the way that you do it is, for example, you go to recording and I already have Yeti set as default device. But if it was not, for example, and this was the other one, you would pretty much highlight it, right click, and go to set as default. So once you do that and you set it as default, it will actually make that as your preferred microphone. And that's pretty simple, right? So the next thing you want to do is in that same window, go to the properties tab in the lower right corner, which is right here. You want to click that and then you want to go to your levels, right? So once you go to your levels, you want to make sure that you set your microphone level to at least 70%. 70%, right? That's a minimum. If it's still too low during your recordings, you can just adjust that to higher. What I like about the Yeti is that it has its own gain sensitivity knob on it, so I can adjust it from there as well. And so I normally leave it at 100. But as I said before, if you're not getting the good loud quality recording, you may want to check your levels and you want to keep it at 70 minimum. The next thing you want to do is go to the advanced tab, right? Once you go to the advanced tab in the default format section, which is right here, you want to choose the max rate allocated to you. So for this setting, it's a DVD quality at 16-bit, 2-channel, etc. Right? So you want to use the max. And then for the exclusive mode section, right, you want to make sure these two boxes are checked. What this does is that it makes sure that the microphone gets, exclusive resources, like complete control of that resource, and it's not going to be shared with any other program. So while you're recording the message, you don't hear like a notification come out because your antivirus is updated or anything like that. It keeps all those sounds muted and keeps exclusive resource allocation to your microphone. Once you're done with that, right, what you want to do is hit apply. Right, when you make those changes, you'll hit OK to exit the microphone properties. Oh, that was too fast. Whoops. Right, and then you want to hit OK again to exit the sound window, which is that. Alright, so that concludes the verification of your microphone. Now we're going to move to part 2 or 3, which is recording on Microsoft PowerPoint. And so once you open up Microsoft PowerPoint, alright, what you want to do is import a custom background, right? And the way you're going to do that is you're going to go to Insert, Pictures. You're going to navigate to the picture that you want. And then once it gets to the slide, you want to make sure that it's adjusted and that it fits well. And understand that this first slide will be your master slide. You see why? So you go here, right? You hit up Insert. Insert. You go to Picture. Once you're in Pictures, you go ahead and find the picture. Any picture that you want. Let me see what I want to use here. What do I want to use here? Alright, I think I know what I want. It's the one I created just for this. There you go. And so here can be your background picture. You want to go ahead and make sure it fits properly. And this is going to be your master slide. And you'll see why. So the next step that we have to do is select the master slide in the left side of the column. And then you want to copy it and then paste it a new slide right above the master slide. And the option you want to use is called Keep Source Formatting. Alright, so the way that's going to look like is the following. Very simple. So here's your master slide. You go to the slide onto the left column, right click, copy, go into this gray area here, right? You click on it, you see that blinky blinky. Once it's blinking, you right click in that area, go to Keep Source Formatting, and then paste. So this here would be your master slide, right? And this would be the ones that you would be putting in there as needed. So once we're done there, we want to start recording the audio file in PowerPoint. So the way we do that is we go to slide number 1, which is not our master slide. And in the very top toolbar, go to Slideshow and then click on a button that says Record Slideshow. And when the media controls appear, you want to hit the red circle, right? I said clear the red circular button to record. That means click. Click the red circular button to record. I will definitely proofread this before I upload it to Google Drive, so don't worry. And then once you do that, you wait your 3 seconds and then you begin recording your prophetic messages from the Lord. Whenever you want to stop to activate it, you will simply hit the escape button, or the escape key. And the way that looks like is the following. And right here, we have the master slide and the one that we created. So we don't want to mess with the master slide, and you'll see why later. To start your recording, you simply click on the copied one that you made. Then you go to Slideshow. And then from here, you go to Record Slideshow. You click it, hit Start Recording, and then you start recording the prophetic messages from the Lord, and then you go on. You do great things. Now, once you're done, if you want to end the slideshow, as I mentioned before, you hit the escape key. But sometimes, right, when you hit the escape key, it can cause a slight little glitch to where it would actually take the audio file and split it into 2 parts, where you would have, for example, we just had slide number 1 for the copy and then slide number 2 for the master. Well, what you want to do here instead of hitting the escape key to avoid that glitch, you just right click on the slideshow and simply end show. When you do that, you'll have an audio file that's created here. You double click on slide number 1, and this audio file is the recording that we just did. And so now suppose you were recording and you made a mistake. Because I'll tell you right now that I have never gone through a complete session without making a few bloopers along the way. And so with the Vegas Studio software that I have, it allows me to make those corrections, right? Because that's the recording software that I use, but it costs money. And so because we're using a cost-efficient means, which is free, we don't have the luxury of being able to edit any bloopers that we would make unless we pay for a more costly software, right? But PowerPoint does offer this one cool feature. And suppose that you just started doing your 5 minutes of recording and then you just said a word wrong, or the phone rings, or something happens that bleeds into the presentation that throws off the flow. And you're like, man, I just read this for 5 long minutes and I don't want to reread it again because of this one blunder, right? What you can do is that you go to the icon, right? The audio icon. You right click in that box. You go to trim audio. Once you go to trim audio, what you do is that you have the green and red slider. Using the red slider, you want to go ahead and adjust it to where you made that mistake. Use the play button to hear the message through just to make sure, or you can go right exactly where it was and listen to make sure that it properly edited out the mistake that you did. Once that's done, you hit OK. So now, giving you the heads up that slide number 1 is no longer usable because it's already been archived. You cannot use this slide anymore for the continuing portion of where you left off in your message because we don't have that capability. So how do we remedy that? And this here is recovering from mistakes during recording. So like I said, during the recording you would hit the escape key, but I would rather prefer you do the right click and show. If you do that, then you would make sure that the recording stays there. So making that mistake that we just looked at, you can't use this anymore. So what you do is you go to the master copy, right click the master copy, click copy, and then now to keep it in chronological order between number 1 and 2, or just right above the master copy, you want to right click and then use the keep source formatting from the paste options. You go in here, like I said, this is no longer usable. You already recorded the 5 minutes as you were able to. The mistake was made. You just use the trim feature to get rid of the mistake, and then you go to the next slide and continue on where you left off with the mistake. So you click slide number 2. Now check this out. This is important. When you go to the slideshow record slide show feature, you want to select start recording from current slide, because if you start recording from the beginning, it will erase slide number 1 and all that 5-minute work that you did is gone. So you want to go to slide number 2. When you're there, write the brand new fresh copy, go to start recording from current, start recording, and then voila, you're back in the game. You go ahead and you do your recording, you continue on, you do another 10 minutes, and then at the 10-minute mark you made a mistake. You're like, alright, so I made a mistake, I need to go ahead and edit that out. So once again, you right click, you go to end show. Once that's ended, you now go to slide number 2, right, and this is your raw format, and now you want to edit that format by clicking in a box, going to trim audio, take the slider, move it to where the mistake was, verify that it properly cut off the mistake. Once that's done, you hit OK, and you continue on for the entire message until you complete.